Thanks for joining us for Devotionables, brief devotions for busy people. You know, I love the Bible for many reasons, one of which is it's clear, it's simple. Now, obviously, it contains complex subject matters. There are parts of the Bible that are less clear, that require some great thought, prayer, consulting commentaries, scholars, standing on the traditions that have been handed down through the church for a long time. But I love those parts where they just put it on the tee, so to speak, and you can just take it home. Kind of the acronym KISS, keep it simple, stupid, right? Kind of a crass way to say it. But there's one of these verses that is just very simple as far as understanding the meaning that I love, very, very much love it. It's in Colossians chapter 4, verse 2. It says, "Devote yourselves to prayer, being watchful in it with thanksgiving." The Apostle Paul gives this command, and I don't have to think about what he means by it. It's very simple. Now, the execution sometimes is lacking on my part, but knowing what to do is not. When I was being discipled by my friend Bill Black, one of my friends in the group, Jamie Vinsel, used to say, the problem is not knowledge, the problem is obedience. Oftentimes we know the answers. We know what to do. Many times, not always. You know, sometimes we misstep, we sin out of ignorance, but most of the time it's just a matter of obedience. I know God is calling me to a life of prayer. Paul says be devoted to it. So I'm just thinking about how can I devote my life to prayer? Recently, I've been part of a church-wide study through prayer called A Praying Life, an excellent book by Paul Miller. And I've learned a couple things about prayer. One, to be devoted to prayer means that I'm always in and out of prayer in a sense, right? Paul says, pray without ceasing. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm on my knees 24/7, that I don't leave the house, I'm locked up in like a monk somewhere. No, but it just means as I'm going about my day, as the Spirit brings things to mind, as I've talked with people, as I've ministered to people, as I've been ministered to by people, I pray in these things, I pray around these things. You know, even this morning, I was driving the girls to school, and a couple of friends came to mind. Just thinking about them, like, wow, I should pray for them. You know, it's turning those thoughts into prayer. You know, I've devoted myself to prayer. But it's also being intentional, and Paul Miller encourages the use of these prayer cards. For if you're old school, kind of like me, you know, go analog. You get an index card, 3x5 index card. You write somebody's name on it. You write the date when you kind of started that prayer card, and you write down some three things maybe. You know, and I think a prayer card allows me to pray at a deeper level for somebody than just a general prayer list or prayer request. And so I can pray more about their character. I can pray that God would produce fruit in them, you know, kind of a long-range kind of prayers. So maybe you'll consider doing something like that. But, you know, coming up with a plan to be a man or woman of prayer, a prayer warrior, to be devoted to prayer. So prayer cards may be it for you. But just give us some thought. How can I devote myself to prayer? And then Paul says this, being watchful in it with thanksgiving. You know, we are in the time of November. I mean, the colors are popping this morning. The trees, the sky, everything is just beautiful in creation around us today in this early November, Monday morning when we're recording this. It's the time of year in the United States where we celebrate Thanksgiving. And so maybe Thanksgiving's on my mind a little bit today too. But prayer and Thanksgiving, what they have in common is they come from a place of humility, and they lead us to a place of humility. So it keeps us on the humble train, so to speak. I have to humble myself to come before the Lord in prayer. I'm so tempted to be able to fix things, fix other people's problems, fix my own problems without consulting the God of the universe who rules and reigns over all things. I humble myself, say, Lord, I need your help. And then when it's answered, I'm watching, right? And watching with thanksgiving, I'm seeing, where's the Lord at work? And he acts, and he responds, he answers, and I say, thank you, Lord, for hearing my prayer and answering my prayer. So friends, devote yourselves to prayer, being watchful in it with thanksgiving.